Hello there, my name's just a regular nerd, and today I'm going to be playing Minecraft Hardcore Evolution. So this is a nice little series I decided to try and come up with, where basically we're going to be playing Minecraft Hardcore, but starting off in very old versions of Minecraft and leveling up through. Well, leveling up more like going up the versions, or updating, I guess. So we're currently here on Alpha 1.1.2_01. Which is the final of the Alpha 1.1 series, and then we'll be going straight to Alpha 1.2.6 from there. I don't know when that will be the case, pretty much when I believe that we're ready to upgrade. Now, unlike the original Minecraft Evolution multiplayer series by Grian, basically there's not going to be any watches or anything like that. This will just be a legitimate series like just the way it is, and we'll just update when we feel like it. So I think we're just going to go right in and create our world and see what happens. Okay, so I'm glad this worked because I tried to record this earlier and it didn't quite come out. Basically, I had this launched through Multi-MC, and I think Multi-MC doesn't quite do something right with LWJGL. Alright, so we got crafting table, which is always good. Oops. And we'll go straight for a pickaxe. I gotta say, I really like this seed. I do like this big monument that's here. I'll go for the classic, getting the 17 cobblestone, because that's enough to make all the stone tools and the furnace. Well, all stone tools except the hoe, but no one really cares about the hoe until later on. Something I've already noticed right off the bat is that a lot of the basic concepts of Minecraft already exist in this old version. So crafting is identical to the current version of the game. I don't know if that means that there should be a crafting update or not. 1.14 has already sort of made a start on that, but in my personal opinion, I think the crafting system is fine in its current state. It does have its limitations, but it's not that bad, and I think as more crafting systems are introduced, it'll be less and less of an issue. Okay, there's some sugarcane over here too, which is good. And is that 5 blocks high? 3, 4, no, it's 4 blocks. I was going to say, I thought they could only spawn at 4 blocks. I did find one in my 1.14 hardcore world, I'm pretty sure, where it was 5 blocks high, which is why I've been checking now. Because when I remember reading on the wiki some time ago that sugarcane could only grow to 4 blocks high maximum, and that's naturally generated. That's something I'd like to do as well. I'd like to try and make some mob farms where, even though they're probably going to be less efficient or completely broken in the newer versions, I'd still like to build them anyway, because I do think that it would come in rather handy. And as well as that, I think a lot of the farms that work in Alpha will still work for quite a long time, right up through Beta, I believe, because it was quite a while before a lot of things really started changing, and I think Beta 1.8 will be the first update that will really start changing things up a bit, with the introduction of things like the hunger bar and sprinting. For the time being, I'm looking at this mountain with very keen eyes, and I'm also looking at this clay over here, because clay is an extremely valuable resource in Alpha worlds. As far as I understand, it's a very rare spawn, so I'm very happy that it's spawned here, which is why I'm digging it up. Okay, so I've collected a fair bit of resources. As you can see, I've got some wool and stuff like that, but it's now just coming to sunset. And so while I'm definitely very interested in this over here, this big mountain, for the time being, I'm going to keep my head low down in the caves. And I'm thinking of just starting out a little hole here, where I can just go down. Now, I don't think charcoal is a thing yet, so I'm going to have to just try and find coal. I've come to think of it, I probably should have mined some coal that I saw on the edge of a cliff, but it's too late now, because I'm 99% sure that charcoal is not a thing in this version yet. Alright, so we finally hit coal, which will be really nice. I didn't even realize at first, that's how dark it is. I didn't even realize that I'd hit coal. I just thought, hang on a minute, it's taking a little bit longer to mine than stone. So that's a really good sign. I also have gone through a whole stone pickaxe, but something to keep in mind with these older versions is, I'm not sure when this was changed, but in Alpha at least, tools have half the durability that they do in current versions of the game. So everything lasts half as long as it does in current version. And let there be light. I've heard a few theories that Steve could be a god. That might not be too far out of the question. But now we're done thinking about how Steve could be a god, and thus I could be a god. I've actually hit bedrock, but I still only found about 2 pieces of iron. Now, in this version, there is no coordinates whatsoever. Even if I go in here to find an option like show frame rate, which was an option in older versions of Alpha, it's not there. If I hold F3, you can see this though. It doesn't really help a heck of a lot though. But we're going to have to just go off purely the bedrock here. So I'm pretty sure that bedrock, the maximum it spawns at is 4, or y equals 4. So that means we have to go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that should be the correct level from strip mining. What I intend on doing now is going strip mining. So if I just go in this direction and start placing torches down, I should be right for the most part, and just try and keep going in that direction and branch out a little bit. So it's actually branch mining, not strip mining. Alright, so I've been mining for about half an hour or so, and I've managed to gather up all of these resources here. I've got 15 diamonds, I think that's 24 or 21 bits of iron ingots worth, and then plus 9, so that's what, 30? That's 30 iron ingots, and then we got more over here from where I've made the tools. So that's all the stuff I managed to amass while I was mining, and I must say, at least in Alpha, it definitely feels a lot better to just go through a cave rather than like I've done here in strip mine, because I did both, probably about equal amounts of time, so 15 minutes strip mining and 15 minutes cave mining, and cave mining is where I got most of those resources, including those 15 diamonds. I think just because it's so much more open, it exposes many more spots where diamonds could spawn, and stuff like that. So I think for sure that it's just much more worth it to just go cave mining, and so I intend on just going in a straight strip to find a cave rather than doing it like I've done here. However, I don't really want mining and resource gathering to be the main focus of today's episode. I'd like today's episode to be mostly about building. Of course I just had to resource mine though, because, well, obviously I can't really do much without it otherwise. So yeah, I'm going to go back up to the surface and I'm going to start gathering some more resources to start building a little house. Okay, so I've been looking around a little bit, and I was originally thinking of maybe starting a little bit of a village-like system over here, with like just houses everywhere, a few farms and stuff like that. But I'm definitely starting to reconsider building it maybe over here. Just because you got the nice big hill over there that looks really nice. And for the most part, the terrain there looks pretty nice as well. It doesn't look like it requires a heck of a lot of cleaning up. So as long as most of that is, for the most part, level, it should be okay. Because as you can see, this terrain does need a fair bit of cleaning up. We do need to clean up this sort of stuff. Just the caves that are exposed and the exposed rock. Because I don't think that looks too pretty, especially in Alpha, because it does look so random. So I'm thinking I'll go over there and I'll check it out. Alright, so I've been looking around at this terrain quite a bit, and I definitely think I can work with it. For the most part, it just requires a tiny bit of flattening out, and that's about it. I've already filled in a little bit of the holes over here, but I'll probably fill things like this in once I explore the cave that goes down. Well, yeah, because that looks like a pretty good looking cave, so I'll probably have a look down there. But apart from that, yeah, I should be able to work with this terrain quite easily, so I might get started on it and build a little house right here. Okay, so when night came, I decided to torch grid this area and terraform it a little bit. And so for the most part, it's pretty flattened out, which is nice. But the other thing I noticed as well was I was fighting a skeleton, and the skeleton killed the creeper. And I didn't know this feature was in yet, but it dropped a record. So I'm thinking I might put it in a jukebox and see what happens. I think that's worth a diamond. So let's see what happens. I'm an idiot. Here we go, now I've crafted the correct thing. Let's turn off music here for a minute. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so I just crafted these stairs, and straight off the bat you'll notice that something quite doesn't look right in terms of how they look in the inventory. I'm not sure if that's just a confusing perspective or whether that's an actual rendering error. But the other thing I noticed as well is when I crafted them, I dropped them. And you need to see how much of an absolute unit these stairs are. Anyway, I'm going to start building over here, I think. I think this will be a really nice spot. Alright, so I've been building for probably about half an hour or so. And I decided to replicate one of my favourite buildings, or what I thought would be one of my favourite buildings, and see how it looked in Alpha. And here it is, the blacksmith. The blacksmith has always been one of my favourite buildings, even in the 1.13 villages. I don't mind them in the 1.14 villages, but I do think that it had a lot of the other designs have been improved on a lot more. And so, while this design is better than the original, I do think that I prefer some of the other houses. Okay, just watch I don't suffocate in a tree. But anyway, if we go inside, it's pretty much identical, except for the fact that it's empty, because I'm going to be putting stuff in it. But what I was thinking about potentially doing is maybe actually, maybe putting a little staircase up there or something. Maybe having stairs go up to the top there. Just hoping there's enough room, because obviously you got the stairs there, so they're going to be a slight problem. But I'm going to see how I go trying to make a stairway up there, just so I got roof, so I can try and utilize the roof a little bit. It might not look so great. Speaking of not looking so great, there is one very unfortunate thing in Alpha, apart from the fact that you can't have stairs like that, where... What? Okay, stairs are super broken in Alpha, let's just keep that in mind, but also, you can't have upside down stairs, so I've just put full blocks there for the time being, but you may have noticed these. And this is a very unfortunate thing at Alpha, at least in this version anyway. And it's that these stair blocks here, if I just bridge over now. Yeah, let's bridge over. But I can't, for the life of me, figure out how to get these stair blocks to orient properly. I couldn't even get the stair blocks on the front to work properly, because they were originally over here, but I had to move them into this direction, because for whatever reason, if you have 3 stairs next to each other, and they're in this direction, they end up like having this stair back onto this stair, and this stair back onto this stair. Is really ugly. So, but then apparently if I put it this way, it's fine. So, yeah, stairs in Alpha are super broken and super annoying. I'm looking forward to future versions where it's a bit more controllable. But we won't have upside down stairs for quite some time, I don't think. But apart from that, oh my, hang on. What? So that was actually a proper full wood block. Whatever. The stairs have given me enough grief. But otherwise, I think it came out alright. I think it looks pretty close to the original. But I'm thinking what I might do is build a little path and have maybe another little house here or something like that. And I definitely need to look at building a farm. So maybe the farm could be the next thing I do. So I might start work on that next. And of course these trees will eventually go. They're just here temporarily. I will have 1 or 2 trees around here to make it look a little bit more natural though. Oh yeah, that's something else I forgot to mention as well. When I torch gridded this place, I quickly found that this makes for a very, very effective mob farm in terms of a passive mob farm. It just, animals spawn everywhere because they got nowhere else to spawn. So, I'm not too sure why this doesn't actually work in modern versions of the game. But anyway, sort out this dude. There we go. It's all under control. So after about 20 minutes or so of building and stuff like that, I have completed the farm over here. So you can see here that everything's growing, which is really nice. And of course, over here, I've actually moved everything from there over in here and organized it. So we got the furnaces. It's unfortunate that Alpha seems to like to rotate the blocks itself. So rather than have the player do it, so the furnaces are facing whichever way they feel like it. We've got the little crafting table there, jukebox for the cat disc. And if we go up here, we got our storage. I know it's a bit out in the open, but it's actually safe because nothing will spawn on the slabs, nothing will spawn in this 5x5 area, and nothing will spawn on this rather dodgy roof. And the only reason it's dodgy is because of these. But anyway, and so you see, like I said, I've got everything all organized in their own little place. And I do have to get rid of those leaves manually because the leaf decay code is extremely broken by the looks of it in this version. I have no idea why it plays up, but it does. So I'm going to have to climb up there and punch these leaves out myself. But I'll do that later. I won't do that now. But I think, honestly, that's about it for this episode. I think it's been a really good start. We've got a bunch of resources. We've got a few diamonds. And we've got a little house set up. And we've got a farm set up. As well as pretty much an infinite passive mob farm, especially at night. So, yeah, so I'm probably, like I said, I'm going to build my own village out here and stuff like that. These animals are extremely distracting, though. That's the only thing I hate. These animals just keep spawning everywhere, and they're the most distracting thing in the world. They're annoying. So, get out of here. Piss off. So yeah, that's about it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next episode next week. So that will be on a Saturday. Alright, thanks for watching. Have a good one. So I know just before I said that was the end of the video, however there is something that I'd like to show you. So I was reading up on the wiki, and actually fishing rods are in the game, which I think is interesting, but they have no function. But the cool thing is, when you craft them, they're stackable. So I've crafted 2 of them here, and so this is something I'd like to add to a rare items collection, which will be a chest that I will never ever touch, and I'll probably make a dedicated building just for these rare items. And I'll have a stack of fishing rods in there. They're unobtainable in future versions of the game. Actually, in the very next version, Alpha 1.2.0. So, I think it'll be very interesting to have these fishing rods as the first rare item that you can't get anymore. Ray refers to these as discontinued items, and he has a lot of them on the Prototech server. So, it'll be very interesting, I think, to keep that as my first item from Alpha 1.1.2. I didn't think I'd get a discontinued item this early in, but yeah, that's, I guess, the benefit of reading up on the wiki. So, anyway, just figured I'd mention that. Now is the actual end of the video. I'm pretty happy with the result of the farm and stuff like that, and how things have gone. I actually harvested some wheat, so I'm going to keep that in wheat form for the time being until I run out of pork, pretty much. Just because, well, bread doesn't stack and wheat does, so it's a lot easier to store that way. But anyway, so I think, yeah, I'll actually now end the video here. So thank you very much for watching. I wish there was a front third-person view, but that's alright, I guess. So, again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode, next Saturday. Have a good one. Thank you very much for tuning in.